Creating Pinterest pins should be a focus of yours as a blogger because Pinterest is the best way to drive traffic to your blog. So if you want to grow your blog, you need to be making eye-catching Pinterest pins, which is exactly what I'll be showing you how to do in this video. There are 4 different types of Pinterest pins that I recommend you create for your Pinterest account, and we are going to be talking about the most common one. But if you want to know how to create the other 3 types of Pinterest pins, check out the free training that I'll link right here and down below in the description about the 4 types of Pinterest pins that you need to be creating to go viral on Pinterest. We're going to be using Canva to create our pins, and this is a great free tool that you should be using if you are not already. I use the desktop version, so you can either use the browser version or you can download Canva and use the desktop version, which is the one that I prefer to use. And in order to get your Pinterest pin, all you have to do is go up here and type in Pinterest pin and Canva templates, and then go down here to the 1000 by 1500 option. And that's gonna take you to a bunch of different Pinterest pins that you can create. You can either create a blank Pinterest pin or you can choose one of the ones here. And I'll just grab this one here to make it easier and show you how to use it from here. And then just go to customize template. It'll open up a new design. And there are 2 different types of Pinterest pin designs that you can create, the ones that Pinterest recommends that you use. If we go back to the home page here, if you want to create your own, you can just go to create a design and go over here to custom size and then type in the width and the height. The 2 that I recommend that you use is a standard Pinterest pin, which is 1000 by 1500, or you can use 1000 by 2100. I recommend just sticking with the 1000 by 1500 because that's the most common type of one. But if you want to go a little bit longer, you can do 1000 by 2100. Over here on the side, you're going to see a bunch of different options. If you decide that you don't like this design, you can always choose a different one. Or if you started out with a blank template, you can choose a different one here. And in the free training down below, I'm going to be giving away 10 different Pinterest pin templates based on the 4 types of viral pins that you create. So if you want some free templates from me, make sure to check out the free training down below. Or like I said, I'll link it up here as well, because I'll be giving 10 free templates away based off of the 4 designs that we're talking about in that training. And the first thing that I do when I start creating a pin, if I'm using one of these templates over here, is I'm going to delete the picture in the background. And when you delete the picture, if you see something like this and you don't see a box here like this, I recommend that you add one. This grid or frame is going to make it easier for you to input pictures. And that way you can easily drag and drop a new picture into your Pinterest pin. Now, whatever your Pinterest pin title is, you're going to want the picture in the background to be something similar. So for example, if you're talking about gardening, you're going to want a picture of gardening behind it because Pinterest can kind of see the picture that you're using. At least it likes to think it can see what your picture is about. So you want whatever picture you're using to match with what you're talking about because Pinterest will use that context to figure out a little bit more of what the pin is about. Hopefully that makes sense. But basically, if you have a laptop in the background like this one does here, Pinterest will be able to pick up that that is a laptop. So if you're talking about the best soil for your garden and you have a picture of a laptop behind it, it's going to get a little confused. Then the next thing that I like to do is change out the reallyGreatSite.com for your website link. Having your website on there is really important because it helps with branding so people can recognize your Pinterest pins. As far as the text goes for the Pinterest pin, that's probably one of the most important parts of the pin because it's going to be one of the things that make people want to click on the pin to learn more. I try to avoid script font like this because it's really, really hard to read. Pinterest pins are typically gonna be kind of small when people are viewing them on Pinterest, and there's gonna be a lot of pins on screen. And from right here, I can't see what that text says. So I try to stay away from font like this, even font like this. I notice the fonts that do really well are Montserrat. I use those a lot. I use this one a lot and Babus Noon and then Poppin. So you can see the different types of fonts that I use here. These are the ones that I would stick with because they perform really well for my clients. I got the opportunity to test out a lot of different fonts because I have a lot of different clients. And those are the ones that I consistently use for every single client and they always do really well. So make sure your text is big, make sure it is readable, and make sure it can be seen over the sea and flood of other Pinterest pins on the platform. You also want to make sure to have some sort of box behind your text because obviously you cannot read this text without some sort of box behind it. So you want to make sure the text stands out from the photo behind it. And before we move on to talk a little bit about color, if you're finding this video helpful, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel down below for more videos like this, because I talk about Pinterest and blogging a ton on this channel. And if you're trying to learn about Pinterest and blogging, you definitely don't want to miss out. But as for the color of the pins, a lot of people like to use their brand colors, but if you want, you can branch out a little bit, because color on Pinterest matters, but it doesn't really matter in terms of branding. So you don't have to be super strict with your branding. If you want to be, you can. But if you want to branch out a little bit, I typically stay in like the hues of my brand. So for example, the pinks and the golds and the yellows and the oranges, I try to stay within the hue of my brand, but sometimes I put purple in there. My blog has no purple around there. It doesn't really matter. If you're super stickler about your brand, you can be, but honestly, if you branch out a little bit, you might find, hey, this color combination works better on Pinterest than it does on my blog, and it's getting me more views. Views on Pinterest and getting clicks matters way more than sticking with a brand color. And I want to say don't use ugly colors, but I feel like that's super subjective, because what colors specifically are ugly? Like, all colors really aren't ugly, but when you put them together, they might be. So like a bright blue with like a neon green probably isn't going to be a good Pinterest pin color to use. So just pick colors that are cohesive together, they work together. Just use your best judgment when it comes to picking colors. And the hardest part about creating Pinterest pins is deciding on the design that's going to look good. You do have a ton of options on Canva. I usually don't like these options a lot, because if you see what is ranking on Pinterest, they don't look anything like the Canva pins for the most part. So I typically use the Canva pins as an idea, and then I switch them up a lot before I ever put them onto Pinterest. I also buy Pinterest pin packs from other bloggers, and I use those pins, which has worked out really well for me in the past. If you want to check out some designs from me, I have a bunch of Pinterest pin template packs up in my shop. They're all super easy to use, and they have been tested and proven to work on Pinterest. I used all of the packs in my shop from past clients, so I know that they bring results and I know that they work. I will leave a link to those down below if you want to check those out. But if you are looking to start creating your own designs though, I always like to look at what is working on Pinterest and then do something similar to that. Now, you obviously don't want to just take a look at your niche and copy and paste the exact same colors as somebody else and the exact same design as somebody else, but you want to look at the different color schemes, the different design elements, and try to incorporate some of that into your own design. Or you can just skip the hard work of all of that and check out the designs linked below in my shop. Since I have already done the work and I know what works, you won't have to flounder around and put in all the hard work and the research to try and figure out what works. You're going to just get the results a lot faster, and it's going to save you time in creating designs. So once you have created your design, all you have to do is go up here to Share, Download, and you want to save it as a PNG, and go to download and then save it somewhere on your computer. Once you're inside of Pinterest, go up here to Business Hub and down here to create a pin. Then just find your design on your computer and drag it over and upload the Pinterest pin. Then you want to type in your title, type in your description, your link, and then you can either publish it immediately or you can publish it at a later date. Now, I have an entire strategy for how to post your Pinterest pins really quickly. I have this keyword research doc that has all of my blog posts linked out and the descriptions for them. So here in my weekly pins, I have the links, the titles, the descriptions, and then I also have the different boards that I want to pin to. I've showed this off in a lot of different videos. So I usually just copy and paste from here and put all the information into here, and then you can publish whenever you want to publish. Now, I normally do more than one Pinterest pin at once. You definitely want to do that. Obviously, we're only doing one here. So that is all you need to do to put your first pin onto Pinterest. But if you want to check out the other 4 types of Pinterest pins that you need to be creating to go viral on Pinterest, make sure to sign up for the free training down below in the description, and like this video if you like, and subscribe to my channel down below for more videos just like this. And I'll see you next time. Bye.